How to write a concise 1,000 word article. Okay, this is a 9-step process with 4 of the steps being more important than 5 of them. So the first thing we need to do is determine the subject. This is pretty easy. It's usually given. The next thing is we need to research and come up with at least 3 resources in which we can pull the information from. And in value of order and authority, I'm a big fan of pulling information from books. Yes, real books, the kind in libraries and that you can buy on Amazon.com. Most people think that all the information that they need in the world is out there on the web, and that is false. There is tons of information that is still locked up in books, and doing that type of research is what's going to make the article great. Next would be e-guides, and these are different than web articles. These are more authoritative sources in which we know where the information is coming from. It's coming from an authoritative figure, and these go into a lot of detail. Last, and what I give the least amount of preference to, are web articles. And these are, we don't know who the author is, and they're usually short. They maybe give us a couple good ideas, so it's good to look at these and try to see if there's anything good here, but oftentimes these are like 500-word articles that are completely useless. All right, again, do research and value authority. Next, step 3 is determine specific keywords. 2 to 4 words in combination. So for the example, we're going to be using charcoal gray suits, and each of those words are important. So we have 3 words: charcoal gray suits, and we could actually expand that out to 4. Charcoal gray men's suits. So each of those words are a descriptor and a keyword that by themselves it's not important that this article ranks for them, but together and in multiple combinations it is. And we just want, for each article, you never want to go more than 2 to 3 keywords. Not the keywords in combination, but total combinations of keywords. So for this one, charcoal gray men's suits is going to be the example we're going to use here in a few seconds, but I wouldn't try to rank for navy men's suits or light gray men's suits. Actually, I could, now that we're going for charcoal gray suits, it would make sense to go for a light gray suit and a medium gray suit. But I wouldn't want to try to bring in something like men's dress shirts, because even though they're sort of related, it's trying to stretch the article too much, and it's going to lose some of its power. So once we've determined the specific keywords, we then are looking for a title. And I want to make sure the keywords are in the title. This is very important. The title is the most important thing, because if we do not have a strong title that appears with the search engines and resonates with the reader, then the reader is not going to follow this, and the search engines are not going to give weight to it. It needs to be to the point and, if possible, catchy. But in the menswear field, I can tell you that I'm not really using a lot of catchy fields or catchy titles. I'm more going for relevance. After that, we need to come together with what's called the lead. And this is the summary that captures the important parts of what the article is going to be about. This needs to be 1 paragraph. And so the leads go back, I think historically reporters use them quite a bit. They're always looking for, putting their lead together. This is if everything else were to disappear and this 1 paragraph were to stay alive, I would understand what this article is going to be about. And I think historically this comes from the Civil War, whenever reporters would have to quickly get their information across because telegraph lines would be cut off, or I don't know how much of this is true, but basically you want to get as much across at the very beginning and capture that person's attention. You want to do this in 3 to 4 sentences. Shorter if possible, and that's the lead. Next, using the lead, we then outline what we're going to write about, and this is built from the lead. And we pay attention to hierarchy and structure and balance. And what I mean by hierarchy is that each section is divided, and then underneath that section we talk about only what we say we're going to talk about, and we stay on point. So that's what hierarchy means. And structure, in terms of if we're going to be talking about, let's say, men's suits or men's vests, then everything in there needs to be about men's vests, and it's structured in that way. And balance, in terms of we're not going to, and this is looking at everything in general, this is trying to make it so it's aesthetically pleasing if you look at it from a distance. So we don't want to have one part of the hierarchy take up 50% and the other 3 parts of the outline take up only 10% each. So we're looking for more balance. We don't have to have exact balance, but ideally, if you were going to have 5 paragraphs in an article, then they would be approximately the same size. If we were to expand that out to, let's say, 1 intro paragraph, 1 conclusion paragraph, and then 3 body paragraphs, then we could spend about as much time on each of the bodies. Again, they don't have to be exactly balanced, but they should be close. After that, we're going to fill in the outline with paragraphs, no more than 4 sentences. We're writing for the internet. After that, we will ruthlessly edit. Get rid of anything that we say that's colloquial. No negative text. Nothing superfluous. Never replace keywords. So keywords are very important. We don't want to put in a word or a descriptor that isn't a keyword. So if we can say men's charcoal gray suit, that's what we want to say. We don't want to say it or the suit or something that's more general, because the search engines will not recognize that. So again, ruthlessly edit. If it doesn't need to be in there, take it out. If the sentence doesn't provide value, take it out. Colloquial terms, so really think about the way we're writing. We don't want to date ourselves. We don't want to pinpoint that we come from some small town in West Texas. Negative words or terminology, I try to stay away from that. I write in a very positive format. I don't say anything bad about anyone, because the internet has too long of a memory to be putting out negative information. And again, superfluous text, with ruthlessly edit. If you can say it in 5 words versus 15, say it in 5. And finally, read it out loud and make sure that, do the spell check and catch everything there. So let's go ahead and we're going to view a quick one of these being put together. All right, so we see we've got the title here, Suit Colors, the men's suit in charcoal gray. So then we come up, when we start doing a little bit of formatting, we create the outline. The formality of a charcoal suit, construction of a charcoal suit, fitting the charcoal gray suit, matching charcoal gray suits, the final analysis. All right, and we could, at this point, go ahead and write a lead summary. And that lead summary would have basically give us an idea of what are the most important parts. So after the lead summary, then we break into filling out the rest of the outline. Now this one, as you can see, fitting the charcoal gray suit is not exactly balanced with matching or with construction or formality, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be an exact match. But overall, when I look at this, it's well structured and exactly what we need.